What's up, you guys? Jodabi here, back at it again with another deck profile for you. And in this BT11 deck profile, we will be covering Beelstarmon Mervamon. So this was a list that I saw in Japan, and I thought it was really interesting. So I built it, tweaked it for this meta. And while it does have some key weaknesses, it is quite rushy. And its mono color makes it a little bit more consistent than the blue suite. That said, you don't have access to a lot of bounce effects. These are mainly deletion effects, which might lead to you struggling in terms of removing certain Digimon. But that said, it is quite rushy, and you'll be able to have a defense mechanism in the form of Mirvamon should you not be able to swing for immediate game. So I'm just going to get started here. We're going to go into the Mirvamon. We got 4 copies of this boy. Easily the best egg, one of the best eggs in purple, if not the best. It's just a non-deletion, draw one, trash one. Next, we're running 3 copies of Ignitemon. The beautiful thing about Ignitemon is also his when attacking effect. So sometimes if you're going second and you're put to 1, 2, maybe even 3 memory, you can Ignitemon in raising and then slam a scatter mode, because if your scatter mode swings and doesn't die next turn, you will have a second swing in the form of Ignitemon, and you can delete the scatter to delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon when attacking of equal or lower levels. So usually some decks very early will hard drop these Searcher Digimon, and if they keep them to try to Digivolve over it instead of swing or chip into your security, which will just fuel your trash, you can actually have it deleted in the form of Ignitemon and Scatter Mode hard play turn 1, which I think is a very good play in addition to the next rookie that does help with Scatter. It is the Gabu on deletion, draw 2, trash 1. So we're very familiar with this card, very good card. Pairs very well with Scatter because it is a draw 6, trash 4 with the Demimera. 2 copies of the Gazimon just to prevent any early memory boosts. It's also good to just have it sit there. Turn 1 rookie and rookie Gazi is very good in choking your opponent to 1, forcing them to take a little bit longer when going up, limiting their draw power as well, especially with Melga X and Black War. If you're putting them at 1 constantly, they might not find all of their pieces in the best way that they can, and you're really limiting Cool Boy, for example, in that way, because they end up playing the Cool Boy. Next, we run 1 copy of the Psychmon here just to counter a mirror. Doesn't really do anything else. The beauty about Psychmon is you can bring it out with Merva as the end of your play, which means that you don't suffer from it. In addition to that, you can do the same thing with a Nailbone with Beelstar, so you don't suffer from it either. Next, the 1 copy of Digimon Retaliation. This pairs very well with Merva because Mervamon all turns gives your Digimon with blocker and crossheart, with Retaliation and crossheart, blocker and rush. So if you're playing around certain things like Metal Garurumon's Bounce or Death Xmon, and you want to bring this out and a level 4 out, you will at least have a blocker in the form of this level 3 Digimon. Next, you've got Dark Rizamon here, which is a very good addition to the Retaliation suite in purple. It is very simple, just Retaliation, draw 1, trash 1 on deletion. Running 2 copies of the Vilemon here. I do really like the Vilemon in terms of just looking for that defensive strat. Generally though, from testing, I didn't really need the Vilemon, so I did remove the Vile for like an extra Kinkaku or an extra, maybe like a Schwartz, just an extra 7 cost option to help facilitate the trash pile and make Beelstar much cheaper. So the 1 Kinkaku here, definitely want to switch that up real quick. You want to do the Valmon into the Kinkaku because you do want to delete floodgates like opposing Psychmon. Pomamon is a big deal. Pomamon is a very big deal that you want to get rid of, and other cards as well. So cards that play with memory like Terriermon too. That said, draw 1, when attacking, trash 1 to delete level 3. It's also 4 cost, so it's good to hard play. Ginkakumon, this is instantly going into your trash. This is really for the Mervamon play, not necessarily for the Nailbone play, because Mervamon's on play and when Digivolving effect allows you to play a level 4 and it triggers on play effects. So if you're playing this Ginkakumon promote, you can actually do the complete suite of promote package and gain an extra memory. And with the Ignitemon, the Mervamon is really going to be played for only 6 memory, which is very much doable and very good in the deck, especially with the Tamers and cards that I'm running for memory gains. Next, we've got 4 copies of Scatter Mode, and Scatter Mode is the main draw source and trash engine in the deck. So it pairs very well with the Gabu and Ignitemon, as I've said earlier, and you only really need it just to die in security and rush your opponents out early. So the big ladies, we've got 4 copies of Mirvamon here. So just a quick review: on play and when digivolving, you may play 1 purple level 4 or lower Digimon card or 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card with Crossheart in its traits from your trash without paying its memory cost. If Digicrossing, add 1 to the number of cards you can play with this effect. So you can play 1 purple or 1 Crossheart. If you Digicross, you can play 2 of either, which is awesome. So you can bring out tons of your targets here. You can bring out any level 4 that's purple or any Crossheart that is level 4 or lower. And you can actually Digicross from trash, which is amazing in Merva because you want to fill your trash anyway. So Digivolving Ignitemon into Scatter, if you'd rather do it that way than hard play based on the memory, etc., is not bad because the Ignitemon in trash will still be a cross material for Merva. Next, we're running 3 copies of Beelstarmon. It's not 4 copies. It could easily be 4 copies because I don't really see myself running 4 Trump Sword. I don't see the point. So the 4th Beelstar could actually be assisting in the fuel of the condition to play Beelstar for cheap. But yeah, you basically use Beelstar to cycle Nail Bones and Fly Bullets as needed. And when it gets really, really cheap, one thing you can do is if you're able to end turn with Mervamon Psychmon, you can Beelstar and Nail Bone for as many times you have memory, and then end your turn with Merva and just go absolutely wide and have tons of Digimon that can just be on the field to pretty much end the game later. But you always want to pace this. Don't go crazy and just have a wide board and be like, oh, I got Death X, woe is me. Like, no. Obviously, you want to play around that as best as you can, and you really want to rush down and have Beelstar just close out. Or Merva play defense or close out as well. 1 copy of the Death X, very good card, obviously, in the Jesmon matchup, where it becomes difficult that every Sistermon is a blocker, for example. Death X can pretty much put a stop to that and control that, which is really awesome. In addition to that, Death X can Digivolve over both Merva and Beelstar, which is really cool, because it saves you a ton of memory instead of being hard played when the conditions don't really feel that they should be hard played. 3 copies of Trump Sword. This is replacing the blue options in the standard Beelstar deck. It's a little bit unfortunate, however, in Melga X matchup, it doesn't really matter because Melga X will unsuspend before any checks resolve anyway at any level, whether it's the level 6 promo, the Where X promo, or the Melga X promo. The Melga X and Where X. They will all have to unsuspend before you resolve the check. So against Melga, this card is actually not too bad. Fly Bullet we have here, very cool, just deletes anything that's level 6 or lower. 1 copy of Calling from Darkness, which returns 2 things from trash to hand. I don't really see the need for Calling, usually I'm fine. However, mainly for the Beelstar, like super late game when you need the Beelstar, the Calling comes in clutch. 4 copies of Mistboost. Mistboost is a very risky card, but if you know what you're doing, or if you are very lucky, it should be fine. Sometimes, you know, trash, hand, and field is very good sources of information, so use them when you play Mistboost. Consider them in your calculations and your probabilities when you play Mistboost, because it allows you to trash the top 2 cards of your deck and draw 1. And it is a good way to gain 2 memory, facilitating that memory-efficient Merva or Beelstar play. 4 copies of the Nailbone because why not? You can also Nailbone Ignitemon from security, and if they don't answer it and you've got like a level 7 or a Beelstar in play, you can pretty much delete it to delete an opposing Death Xmon, for example, if your Death Xmon is out, or opposing level 6 that's unsuspended. So one of the things that you can do here is you can actually like if you have a Wargreymon, for example, a black Wargreymon that's suspended, you can have a Digimon swing. If it's deleted, then you can make the Wargrey unsuspend, and then pretty much kill it by killing a level 6 when Ignitemon swings, which is pretty nice. Assuming they don't have the sources, of course. But other than that, Nailbone is really for the recursion, really there for closing out the game very well. 2 copies of Matt Ishida because you really want to see yourself at 3 memory here. It's very good to choke your opponent at 1 once you see the 3 memory, which is very nice. And 2 copies of Sora Mimi. This card is not played anymore, but it does come quite clutch, because when you have a Matt and Sora Mimi out in this meta, in this 1-stack meta right now, your opponent will do their best to try to pass you 3 often or put a rookie out often. And if they can't put a rookie out, they're just going all in. And at that point, Sora Mimi pretty much just like sets you to 5, and then with a miss boost you're at 7, and 7 is the minimum condition for Merva to be played. Because when you Digicross with Merva, your target is pretty much Ignitemon, and then Ignitemon will make it Digicross for an 8 cost to play, and then all turns when you put this underneath a source, you pretty much gain a memory because you're 100% playing Digimon by effects. So Merva actually becomes a 7 cost instead of an 8. So if you can get to 7 very easily, then you'll be able to Merva for a game very, very easily. So that's pretty much it. Another thing you can do as well is, because you're running 4 Tamers, if you want to go super aggro, you can basically just cut a Vilemon for a Loimon. If you cut the Vilemon for a Loimon, you're more likely to actually win the game quicker. But I like to play a little bit more defensively, a little bit more controlly, and usually I don't need the Loimon to win anyway, because Mirvamon will either set up blockers, put my opponent to 1 and I win next turn, or I end up at 0 memory because of the Tamers and miss boosts and I just win the game anyway. But yeah, it felt really good. It was really fun to play, and I know a lot of people were asking about it, so thank you so much for watching, and peace.